welcome to this very special episode. Let's call it the 100 crore vaccination special episode of Frankly Speaking. And today, joining me on Frankly Speaking is the man who started it all in India, Adar Poonawalla. Joining me live on Frankly Speaking, Serum Institute of India has become, and Adar Poonawalla has become a household name. Welcome to your own family. You're meeting your own family. Every Indian watching this show tonight, Adar Poonawalla, congratulations, salutations, and a big Jai Hind for the yeoman service that you've done to this country with the early thinking on partnering with Oxford and getting this vaccination. How's the journey been for you, Adar Poonawalla?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for those very kind words that I don't deserve, because, it has been thanks to Shri Narendra Modi ji's vision and leadership that we have all been able to come together, government agencies getting permissions, licenses, financial support, vaccine industry, all of us working together to be able to achieve this. And thanks to the healthcare workers who finally had to, at great personal cost, give the vaccine to all the beneficiaries in India. So it's a great day, and congratulations to all of them. And of course, the team at Serum Institute who's also made this possible. To answer your point, the journey began in March 2020. As you know, we had to make decisions based on very little information and data. Okay, which vaccine will work, what technology will be easy to scale up, what will be thermostable. And I think we had a bit of good luck there, but we also had to make these calculative decisions so that we have a product that one can quite easily scale up. We have seen the challenges that all other vaccine companies are having, and they're trying very hard, and their efforts also should not be forgotten, because they are scaling up. They've done a great job also, but you're limited with the technology that you use. And we've been fortunate to be able to succeed in a technology also which was good to scale up. And of course, we encountered so many challenges along the way. You've been witness to the journey. We've had a fire, we've had other issues. And here we are today, where we've doubled our scaling up, because in the second wave, the government and I worked very closely together, and with their support, doubled our capacity, which technically was 3 times higher than what we had originally been doing. And that's where we are here today.
Adar Poonawalla, yes, there have been many ups and downs, including the fire at Serum Institute, and of course, reports of you having escaped to United Kingdom because there weren't enough vaccinations and people were ready to lynch you. How did that feel?
Every week was a new challenge, but that period was particularly a difficult time. Of course, it was a little exaggerated also, and it was politicized, as you know. But there was a lot of pressure because people couldn't understand why they could not get the vaccine first, whether it's a state, whether it's a private group or whatever. And, I went to the UK, in fact, to deal with my partners and explain to them that we could not export because I have to look after my nation now at the moment, and we'll resume exports later. And I had to settle a lot of legal cases. That's the reason I went to the UK, not to escape any sort of situation here. Of course, it was a difficult time, and the government has protected me and supported me and my company in a manner that I will eternally be grateful to them for. So there was no real threat beyond that to me personally, or at least I didn't feel that way. We got over that time, and everyone was super supportive as soon as they understood that the vaccine shortage is something that nobody can control. And we have a limited pie. We have to distribute it to the most vulnerable first. And soon as we scaled up, all that, relaxed. There was a pricing issue. People were not understanding why there should be a, price differential. So all that took some time to communicate and properly explain to people. And, now with the end result, everyone is just so happy that they've got the vaccine, and the government of India has provided it free of cost to, 99.9% of India. in terms of, providing it free. And, we've hardly sold any of the vaccine anyway in the private market because the government has taken on the challenge of giving it free to everyone.
So, Adar Poonawalla, when you say that the government stood by you and helped you, I don't know if that's going to be taken very nicely politically, because they will say that Prime Minister Narendra Modi ka ek aur suit boot wala dost hai. So, are you actually doing a disservice by acknowledging him? How do you see politics in this country?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. In fact, let me correct it. And whether it's an opposition party or whatever, and I don't get into the politics of it, you're free to say what you want. But let me just tell you that it is the industry that creates jobs. It is the industry that would create the research and technology for us to fight pandemics. And it's not about who's a friend of whom. It's about supporting, an industry and all other industries, that create not only jobs, investment, and ultimately the spending, whether it's the financial industry, steel industry, pharmaceutical industry, auto industry, all. I mean, where's the question of any friendship? The government is here to support industry so that we can in turn support the citizens of India with the products that we make, with the jobs we offer and services we offer. So I take great pride in being able to acknowledge and I think it's the industry that partners and can partner well with the government that will ultimately prosper and therefore give back to the citizens of this country in a much better way. So this is the need of the hour. And, Prime Minister Modi ji has, cut a lot of red tape, improved ease of doing business, reduced corruption. These are all the things that he promised and he has delivered on that.
But do you think the debate in this country at a political level has gone to ridiculous levels simply because we are now cutting our nose to spite our own face? And is this going to be counterproductive? I'm asking you this question because there have been ups and downs in this journey from shortages, from all sorts of criticisms to the 100 crore milestone. Yes, we are not fully there, but definitely it's a milestone that we must acknowledge, because this acknowledgement also increases our confidence and builds up the morale of a sector, especially our COVID warriors and people like yourself who've been fighting this, round the clock. Do you think this debate actually hurts India when we do this? And why doesn't our political class or overall the narrative on social media not understand this?
See, I absolutely agree with you that all political parties should come together on certain issues. Now, it's not fair to say that, if you're sitting in the opposition, you cannot comment or criticize or question. In fact, Prime Minister Modi has always welcomed criticism and constructive criticism. And rightly so, we are in a democracy. I think as long as the criticism is in the right spirit, and questions, the right issues, it should be welcomed in a democracy. To what extent it may have in the past hurt the progress, I don't know. I don't want to comment on it and create some headline. But I think I don't want to criticize any political party for raising any issues. It's their job and duty. All I would say is that please do it with an objective in mind, which does not hurt the nation. And in certain critical areas where the country is in crisis, we should all be together and, work together. In fact, look, a fine example of where even the opposition parties came together was in support of, when certain countries were not recognizing the vaccine certificates from Indian vaccine manufacturers. It was the opposition which made and protested. Which sort of highlighted that we are one nation and we're trying to do good by humanity, and all countries should accept vaccines and vaccine certificates made in India. So I think as long as we do it in a constructive manner, it is fine, and we should all be together on the critical issues. And look, it's the job of different political parties to raise issues. How can I comment on what they can and can't say?
Well, I know. Otherwise, you'll have to take another long, vacation out of India to maybe the UK or US or whichever destination you want. But Adar Poonawalla, I want to ask you. Many people today have already, begun to put out the question, saying that okay, 100 crore, no big deal, not a milestone, not a big achievement, given the fact that we still have a long way to go in vaccinating the entire adult population, and also a debate raging on whether the government had put the December 31st deadline for both shots for the entire population. How do you respond to that?
See, whatever the forecasts and ambitious targets the government of India has, there must be calculations that they've made. All I can comment on is what we are able to produce and deliver, which is more than 220 million doses now per month. And of course, we have to export, some of the extra quantities because India has a reputation, we have a reputation to fulfill our commitments overseas. But also keep in mind, and I do believe this, that all the other Indian vaccine manufacturers are going to scale up and deliver more doses than they already have. So when you combine those two figures and do some calculations, I think, we are in a good position to vaccinate everyone with 2 doses. I don't want to say whether we will be able to do that or not. We have to set ambitious goals and targets. Otherwise, you can't reach, these ambitious targets. Don't forget, there's one other factor that is there, and that's out of the control of the government and the manufacturers. Finally, we have more stock, as you've seen, in the States and everywhere in terms of vaccine supply compared to vaccination rates that we're giving on a monthly basis. What is slowing down, I think, is general lethargy in people and vaccine hesitancy. Now, if that is a challenge, then neither the government of India and Modi ji, whatever he's doing, he cannot reach that target, and neither can vaccine manufacturers help that situation. It's the will of the people who have to come forward and take their second shot. You see, now it's a good thing that cases are down, hospitalizations are down, panic of COVID is reduced, people are roaming around doing everything. Now that builds in some lethargy also. People will say, we'll come later and take another shot, our second shot, agle mahine dekhenge, all that. So that could delay the targets. And that is where we must appeal to the people, and Government of India is doing a great job trying to bring and convince as many people to take the second dose on time. So, that could be a challenge in my opinion, which we should try and address.
Adar Poonawalla, are you somebody who's going to prophesize that there could be a third wave around the corner? If you do, are we better prepared this time than the emergency situation that we saw during the second wave? How do you see the play of the pandemic and the opening up of India, especially in this festival season?
Absolutely. I mean, we are in a much better situation. You've got, under Modi ji's leadership, enough oxygen supply, hospital beds, and of course, the fact that a lot of the population has taken 1 dose, which gives you a lot of protection. The ultimate protection is, of course, with 2 doses, which will also happen to a large extent by the end of December. So even, God forbid, a third wave comes, we are in a very, very good position. At that time, the population was not vaccinated to the extent that it is today. We didn't have the amount of oxygen and hospital beds, because how could anyone make and forecast so much to suddenly have, overnight we built so much. The steel manufacturers in India came forward, and other industries and other groups, Reliance, Inox, Jindal Steel, so many other groups made oxygen available, and now that capacity is available. You've got hospital chains and other groups and CSR funds which came to build more hospital beds, which is there. That infrastructure today is there, and we're ready for a third, fourth wave. And in my mind, I don't think we'll even feel it. There'll hardly be any additional major hospitalizations or cases. And this is my hope and wish, so don't hold me to it. But based on the data, based on the fact that these vaccines are protecting you, based on all these provisions that have been made, I think we're very well prepared for any future waves, and they may come. It's just that I agree with you, they won't be as bad as what we experienced early on.
Well, yes, I won't hold you to your words, but the world out there is not, as forgiving. Let's just hope for the best. But we have a lot of Hindi audience. बहुत से लोग आपसे ये भी सुनना चाहते हैं कि आने वाले दिनों में तीसरा शॉट लेना चाहिए, एक बूस्टर डोज की ज़रूरत होगी या नहीं। और दूसरी बात जो लोग अक्सर पूछा करते हैं कि बच्चों का क्या, बिकॉज स्कूल्स बहुत देर से बंद हैं, कॉलेजेस बंद हैं, तो क्या बच्चों के लिए वैक्सीनेशन सेफ है, और अगर इसे ले सकें तो क्या बच्चे स्कूल जाना फिर से नॉर्मल तरीके से ज़िंदगी अपनी लीड कर सकेंगे या नहीं?
ये इसमें 3-4 पॉइंट है। पहले मैं आपको ये तीसरे बूस्टर डोज के बारे में समझाने की कोशिश कर सकते हैं कि देखिए, विदेश में भी और यहाँ भी वनरेबल और बूढ़े लोगों को और जो इसके मेडिकल कंडीशंस होते हैं उनको शायद तीसरा डोज नेक्स्ट ईयर में दिलवा सकते हैं, मगर वो भी हमारे साइंटिफिक एक्सपर्ट्स और गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ऑफिशियल्स पे उस पर पॉलिसी बना के पब्लिक को देंगे। आज तक साइंस में जो हमने देखा है, 2 डोज के साथ अच्छा प्रोटेक्शन मिल रहा है। कोई लोगों को, जैसे वनरेबल और ये मेडिकल कंडीशन के लोग को, तीसरा डोज शायद नेक्स्ट ईयर दिलवा सकते हैं। ये इसकी अनाउंसमेंट गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया और एक्सपर्ट्स शायद कुछ दिनों में, कुछ महीनों में कर सकती है। बच्चों के लिए, और बच्चों के पहले ये तीसरी डोज का पॉइंट, एक दूसरा पॉइंट भी है, ये साइंस की पॉइंट है। अभी एथिक्स के बारे में हम जो बात करेंगे कि पूरी दुनिया में क्या हो रहा है, अफ्रीका और बहुत सारे देशों में लोगों को 2 डोज भी नहीं मिल चुके हैं, तो एथिकली उनको पहले 2 डोज मिलना चाहिए और उसके बाद ये तीसरा और बूस्टर डोज की चर्चा की बात होनी चाहिए। ये हमारा व्यू है और बहुत सारे लोगों का भी व्यू है, जैसे कि वर्ल्ड हेल्थ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और सब लोग, कि भाई उन लोग को 2 डोज दो, क्योंकि देखिए वो देशों को भी खुलना है, काम करना है, इकोनॉमीज को खोलना है। उसके बगैर इंडिया को भी दिक्कत हो सकती है जब हमें ट्रेड करना है, बिजनेस करना है, टूरिज्म करना है। तो जब तक पूरी दुनिया खुल नहीं सके, और उसके लिए 2 डोज की जरूरत है पहले, उसके बाद तीसरी डोज की बात और चर्चा होनी चाहिए। ये एथिकल और ग्लोबल व्यू है, और हमारा भी ये स्टैंड पॉइंट है कि सिर्फ शायद जो बूढ़े लोगों को और मेडिकल कंडीशन हो तो उनको इंडिया में तीसरा डोज दिलवा जाए। अब बच्चों की पॉइंट, विदेश में यूके, यूएस, सब जगहों में बच्चों के ये स्कूल्स सब खुले हुए हैं और मैंडेटरी नहीं है कि वैक्सीन लेने के बगैर आप आइए। तो वैक्सीन बिना भी, वैक्सीन ऑप्शनल है, और दूसरे देशों की अलग अलग पॉलिसीज है। मगर हमने सब देखा है कि बच्चों में इतना सीरियस नहीं है और मामला इतना सीरियस भी नहीं हो रहा है। इनफैक्ट हमारे देश में आप जो डेटा देखेंगे, लगभग 50-60% के बच्चों को ऑलरेडी एक्सपोज कोविड हो चुका है और कुछ सीरियस इश्यूज नहीं हुए, एंटीबॉडीज हैं बच्चों में। तो बच्चों की वैक्सीन अभी भारत और जायडस भी अभी लॉन्च कर रहे हैं, तो उनके लिए भी सोल्यूशन है, ले सकते हैं। हमारी वैक्सीन मार्च में 2022 कोवोवैक्स नाम की है, जिसमें बच्चों की भी हमारी वैक्सीन का सोल्यूशन है, उनके ट्रायल्स हम कर रहे हैं। तो ये पर्सनल चॉइस है, जो माँ बाप को, पेरेंट्स को लगता है कि बच्चों को सुरक्षित रखना है तो वैक्सीन लगाइए। इंडिया में भी ये वैक्सीन्स अच्छे हैं और ये हमारा व्यू है। तो आई थिंक गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया और एक्सपर्ट्स भी इस पे चर्चा करके अनाउंसमेंट्स कुछ दिनों में और करेंगे। तो ये हमारा व्यू है और देखेंगे कि क्या होता है।
सो आधार पूनावाला, Before I let you go, I just want to ask you one question. You started early, you invested a lot at a time when there was no certification of the Oxford formula. आपने पहले इसमें अपनी इन्वेस्टमेंट कर दी थी और दैट रिक्वायर्स अ लीप ऑफ फेथ. लीप ऑफ फेथ आपने लिया, आपको कितना सपोर्ट मिला और पूरी जर्नी तब से लेकर आज 100 करोड़ के माइलस्टोन तक कोई ऐसा फेज़ आया जिसमें आपको लगा कि ये बहुत सरदर्दी का काम है, मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा या मुझे नहीं करना चाहिए, इसमें रिटर्न्स इतने नहीं है जितनी सरदर्दी है, ऐसा कोई फेज़ आया?
देखिए, हमने तो पैसा कमाने का तो सोचा भी नहीं. हमें कमिट करना था मोदी जी के विजन और गवर्नमेंट के साथ कि हमें देश को सुरक्षित बनाना है, और जो बनाना है तो हम रुक नहीं सकते हैं. हमें आज इन्वेस्टमेंट और रिस्क लेनी पड़ेगी और हमें 3-4 पार्टनर के साथ पैसा लगा के वैक्सीन डेवलप करके प्लांट और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग फैसिलिटी बनानी है. एक लगभग एक्स्ट्रा 1000 लोग को हमने काम पे लगाया और रिक्रूट किया, ट्रेनिंग दिया ये करने, क्योंकि ये एक्स्ट्रा हमें काम करना था. और बहुत टाइम ऐसा लगा कि हमें ये बहुत है, हमारे से नहीं होता है, नहीं करना है. मगर हर बार ऐसा समय आया, कुछ लोग और जो पब्लिक थी, जो उनका लव और मोहब्बत से उन्होंने हमें हमेशा सपोर्ट और इनकरेज किया कि अरे आप पे हम भरोसा रखते हैं, और गवर्नमेंट का इतना सपोर्ट आया कि भाई आपको क्या मदद चाहिए हम देने के लिए तैयार है. ये सब चीज़ों हमें इनकरेज किया और इनके सपोर्ट के ऊपर हमने हर चैलेंज फेस किया और ओवरकम की और आगे बढ़े. तो आई थिंक बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद गवर्नमेंट को, पब्लिक को, सब लोगों को जिसने हमें सपोर्ट की, और इसके वजह से हम हैं आज, और इसके लिए वजह से हमारा ये कंट्रीब्यूशन पॉसिबल हुआ.
वेल, ऑन दैट नोट, थैंक यू वेरी मच आदार पूनावाला. वो कहा जाता है, ये हिंदी में ही अच्छा लगता है कहना कि मंजिलें अभी और भी हैं, फासले अभी और भी हैं, अभी तो चलते जाना है, पता नहीं किसी कोने में थर्ड वेव हो ना हो. So I think it's going to be a long journey, and we thank you as a nation. We thank you. We salute you, your perseverance and your commitment. And I, on behalf of this entire country of 135 crore people, really salute you and other vaccine manufacturers, as well as this country, which is so proud of its COVID warriors, its health workers who've been there, out there, fighting this war on behalf of the people of India. Thank you very much, Adar Poonawalla, for joining me on Frankly Speaking.
Thank you. Pleasure. Thank you very much.